Elex 2 would seem to be just a continuation from where the previous game left off. But is the sequel to the 2017 vintage open world role playing game worth your time? Let's find out. The game starts out with a full artistic rendition of the story thus far to get us up to speed. We learn all we need to know and get thrown into the action right away. You play as main character Jax, set in a post apocalyptic science fantasy heavy world. It's your job to make things right and fight back against the enemy invaders. From the trailers and promotional images alone, you will plainly see that there are major graphical improvements from the last installment. Granted, early on, you die a ton, and the combat was relentless in making this a grueling pain. However, once you reach a midway point, both in the game, time, and story, you become a hardened target and survive much better. Which can be a good thing as it keeps the RPG progression moving. Just some nasty control awkwardness and jankiness made the combat a bit of a chore. The world still looks, and to an extent feels the same way, but with all the definition tuned to give more next-gen presentation. Speaking of next-gen, the version we tested was on the PS4 and again on the PS5 with the included free upgrade. Changes are negligible at best, with the most noticeable thing being a slight frame rate increase at best, but not much more otherwise. Back from before are the same world setting, the areas, the characters, and the RPG elements. Someone who has played the first will be at home in Elex 2, with new and first-time players quickly becoming accustomed to the mechanics. We've covered the good, and now let's talk about some things that weren't what we expected. The game controls aren't the best. Jax feels like he's either moving too slow at times or just a little bit disconnected from what you expect him to do. The problem is not drastic, and some people might not notice it, but there is the slightest feeling that you aren't 100% in sync with actions you want him to perform. Another point of the issue is the lack of Vsync support. There's a lot of screen tearing going on, and that's not fun to look at. Anytime there's a motion on the screen, the tearing becomes bad. This is something that should be fixed with a patch. I even dare saying that it's something that shouldn't be an issue in this day and age of console gaming. There doesn't seem to have been much QA. There are bugs all over the game, but are so minor you hardly notice them. I guess many small bugs are better to overlook than games breaking ones, I assume. You shouldn't go into Elex 2 expecting a AAA experience. There is fun to be had, but there's a serious lack of polish for the game to even stand close to other titans in the genre. Overall, the story was good, decent enough for a sequel to a game that many didn't know even existed. I would recommend for those that are looking for something to play that offers a challenge, good story, and vast opportunities for adventure. When was the last time you can say you beat up a dinosaur? I give Elex 2 a 3.5 out of 5.